Welcome to our summary of The Motive by Patrick M. Lencioni. This book talks about why the reasons behind wanting to be a leader are so important. These reasons don't just affect a leader's success, they can change the whole company's future. The book explains two main types of leadership motives, reward-centered and responsibility-centered. Understanding these can change how you think about leadership and how you lead others. Reward-centered leaders focus on what they can get from being a leader, like power, recognition, and status. They see leadership as a way to enjoy perks and feel important rather than serving others. They often care more about their comfort than the needs of their team or company. Responsibility-centered leaders see leadership as a duty to their team and company. They are willing to face challenges, make sacrifices, and put others' needs first. This way of leading builds trust and loyalty within their teams, creating a stronger and more successful company. The book uses the story of two CEOs, Shay and Liam Alcott, to show these different leadership styles. Shay is a reward-centered leader, while Liam is responsibility-centered. As the story goes on, it becomes clear that focusing too much on personal gain can hurt a company, while focusing on responsibility can help it succeed. This story gives examples and also warns about the dangers of self-serving leadership. Shay Davis, the CEO of Golden Gate Security, is worried about his job and his company's future because of slow growth and tough competition. To fix things, Shay contacts Lighthouse Partners, a consulting firm with a strong reputation. But there's a problem. Lighthouse Partners works with Shay's competitor, Del Mar Alarm, and needs their approval to help Golden Gate Security. Then, something surprising happens. Liam Alcott, the CEO of Del Mar Alarm, calls Shay. Instead of keeping his consulting resources to himself, Liam offers to share what he has learned from working with Lighthouse Partners. Shay quickly agrees to meet. During their meeting, the difference in their leadership styles becomes clear. Shay admits he focuses on tasks he enjoys, like sales and marketing, but neglects important responsibilities like team development and tough conversations. This reward-centered approach has caused problems at Golden Gate Security. Liam, on the other hand, focuses on responsibility. He believes managing and developing his team is key to his role as CEO. The success of Del Mar Alarm shows how effective Liam's leadership style is. The story takes a twist when Shay reveals his real reason for seeking Liam's advice. He plans to buy Del Mar Alarm. Shay thinks this will help him compete with All American Alarm, the industry leader. Liam is shocked and upset by Shay's plan. He points out how Shay's reward-centered leadership has hurt Golden Gate Security. This honest feedback makes Shay think about his leadership style and why he makes the decisions he does. This could be the start of Shay's transformation, as he begins to understand the true responsibilities of being a CEO. As the book goes on, it explains the big differences between reward-centered and responsibility-centered leadership. It talks about what drives each style and how they affect a leader's effectiveness. Reward-centered leaders see leadership as the ultimate reward for their hard work. To them, being a leader is all about enjoying perks like power, recognition, and status. They focus more on their comfort and happiness than on what their team or company really needs. This attitude can make them avoid challenges, skip tough conversations, and ignore important tasks that don't give them immediate rewards. When leaders are too focused on personal gains, they often lose sight of the company's goals, which can slow down progress and growth. Responsibility-centered leaders, on the other hand, see leadership as a duty to their team and company. They are committed to serving others and understand that being a leader comes with challenges and sacrifices. These leaders know their main job is to take care of the people they lead, not just their own comfort. This drives them to face tough decisions, have difficult conversations, and handle tasks that others might avoid. By putting the needs of the company and its people first, responsibility-centered leaders create a positive environment where everyone can do well. The book also points out some common mistakes reward-centered leaders make. It focuses on 5 key areas that are often overlooked but are very important for the company's success. First, the book talks about the importance of building a strong leadership team. It's not enough to just talk about teamwork. Leaders need to be actively involved in creating a high-performing team. Reward-centered leaders often leave this to HR or don't focus on it, thinking it's not as important as technical skills. This can lead to a lack of trust, more office politics, and missed chances for teamwork and innovation. Leaders need to be directly involved in team development to keep the organization healthy. Second, the book discusses the need for active management. It challenges the idea that experienced professionals don't need much oversight, which is something reward-centered leaders often believe. This hands-off approach can lead to teams not being aligned and missing their goals. Good management isn't about micromanaging. It's about guiding and supporting the team to make sure everyone is working together towards the same goals. This is key to keeping the organization running smoothly. The book also highlights the importance of dealing with uncomfortable issues. Reward-centered leaders often avoid tough conversations to keep things pleasant, but this only makes problems worse. Leaders should face issues head-on and have honest discussions to help team members improve and align better with the organization's goals. Addressing these issues early prevents small problems from becoming bigger ones. Next, the book talks about the role of effective meetings in making decisions and keeping the organization aligned. Reward-centered leaders often see meetings as a hassle, leading to poor outcomes. But by making sure meetings are well organized, leaders can improve communication, teamwork, and decision-making throughout the organization. Lastly, the book stresses the need for clear and repeated communication. This is essential for making sure everyone in the organization understands and supports its goals, strategy, and values. Reward-centered leaders often struggle with consistent communication, which can lead to confusion and disengagement. Leaders should take on the role of constantly reminding the team of key messages to ensure everyone is on the same page. By focusing on these 5 key areas, leaders can avoid the mistakes of reward-centered leadership and build a strong, aligned, and successful organization. In the chapter Imperfection and Vigilance, the book talks about how leadership motivations can be tricky. Even leaders who are really dedicated can sometimes be tempted by the appeal of reward-centered leadership. The desire for personal gain, recognition, or an easier path can pull even the best leaders off track at times. The book explains that true leadership isn't about being perfect, but about knowing what's driving you and trying to stay focused on being responsible. The book stresses how important it is for leaders to be aware of themselves and keep improving. Even leaders who usually put others first need to stay alert. Success and praise can make it easy for a leader to start thinking more about their own rewards instead of focusing on others. To help with this, the book suggests creating a work culture where leaders get honest feedback. This feedback helps them see if they're starting to focus too much on personal rewards so they can make changes before it becomes a problem. The chapter, The Surprising Danger of Fun, talks about a different kind of reward-centered leadership that puts fun first. It might seem harmless because it's natural to want to enjoy your work, but it can be just as harmful as chasing power or recognition. This type of leadership is tricky because it's easy for leaders to justify focusing on fun and ignore the important duties that aren't as enjoyable. The results of this can be serious. When leaders skip important tasks just because they aren't fun, it leaves a gap in guidance and can slow down progress. It also stifles innovation. Even though making work fun is good, it shouldn't come at the cost of the important responsibilities leaders have, like helping their team and organization grow and succeed. In the last part, The End of Servant Leadership, the book makes a strong case for rethinking what we expect from leaders. There's a concern that self-centered leadership, where leaders put their own gain above helping others, is becoming too accepted. If this continues, future generations might start to see leadership as being about serving oneself instead of others. To stop this, the book calls for everyone to help bring back the true meaning of leadership, which is about being selfless and responsible. Employees should feel confident to speak up when they see leaders focusing too much on their own benefits. Leaders, especially at higher levels, are encouraged to think about their own leadership style and change it if they're too focused on personal gain. People also need to hold their elected officials accountable, making sure they put the public's needs before their own ambitions. The vision for the future is one where servant leadership becomes the standard, not because the term is needed, but because it's so deeply understood as what leadership should be. By focusing on responsibility-centered leadership, the book suggests, we can bring about positive change. This could make workplaces more successful and fulfilling, help employees feel more engaged, and create a more hopeful society. The final message is clear. True leadership isn't about the leader's own success, but about helping and serving others. Real leadership requires dedication to service, making sacrifices, and putting others first. As the motive wraps up, the main idea about leadership becomes clear. Leadership isn't about personal gain or self-satisfaction. It's about the serious responsibility to serve others and help the organization thrive. The book points out where reward-centered leaders often miss the mark, like building strong teams, managing people well, and keeping communication clear. When these things are ignored, it doesn't just hurt the team. It can weaken the whole organization. Leaders are encouraged to really think about why they lead and to shift their focus away from personal rewards. Instead, they should take on a responsibility-centered approach. The book shows how this kind of leadership can create big positive changes. When leaders put the needs of others and their team's well-being above their own, they start a ripple effect that reaches far beyond just their team. Organizations led this way become stronger and more flexible, employees feel more satisfied and find more meaning in their work, and society as a whole becomes more positive and hopeful. The final takeaway is simple but powerful. True leadership isn't about getting praise or having power. It's about being selfless, dedicated, and fully committed to helping and growing the people you lead. This message not only inspires, but also challenges leaders to take on the real responsibility of making a difference. If you enjoyed this summary, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring you more insightful book summaries and practical advice. Stay tuned for more content that can help you achieve your financial goals and personal growth. Thanks for watching.